Hello and welcome to the second edition of Voices Behind the Bike Shed, where we're showcasing what's happening at this year's Highlands and Islands Climate Festival. But I do seem to be short of a co-presenter at the moment. Wait a minute, I think I see her coming. Hello, Mary. Hello.
Hi.
Good to see you. Have a good bike ride?
Yes, it was excellent.
Well, here we are, and they said it wouldn't last, the second edition of Voices Behind the Bike Shed. Now, last week, as you know, the theme was very much about food and growing your own food. This week, the theme is about transport and how choices we make in terms of transport can help the climate. Now, saw you coming on your bike. Is that something you do often?
Well, you know, not as often as I should, but you know, when I do it, I enjoy it.
Okay, well, speaking of cycling, I don't know what you did this weekend. I think you were abroad, weren't you?
I'm just back from holiday, yes.
Yes, you were in Greece.
I was.
And how is John Travolta these days? Anyway, at the weekend, I was down at Belfield Park in Inverness for the autumn event of Kidical Mass. Do you know what Kidical Mass is?
No, I don't know too much about them.
Well, the film should explain all.
Okay.
Let's have a look.
So today is Kidical Mass. Kidical Mass is a movement that tries to reclaim streets for kids. It's an international movement, and this is their autumn action month. So this is Inverness's action. There will be, I think, about 160 across Europe, and basically we use adults and a big group to create a safe space on the streets so that children are able to cycle on it without endangering themselves. I guess there's two aspects of it. One is to make a really joyous experience for kids on their bikes so that they have a good time and they want to come and do it again. And the other, I guess, is to make the point of actually this is how much organising it takes for kids to feel safe on the streets that we have in Inverness at the moment, and as a prompt for change and making them a little bit more friendly to bikes. I mean, we have everything up from little babies in seats and in trailers, lots and lots of young kids on bikes and balance bikes, right up to them all bringing their grandparents as well. It's always an experience. We've got a wonderful team of marshals who can hold all the traffic so that they don't get mixed in with all of the kids, and I think that's one of the things that's so special about it, that you do cycle with a big group of children in places where you'd maybe hesitate to take them if it was just you as a family. We started at Belfield Park and we have finished on the grass next to the Archive Centre. It's been a lovely day. The sun has shone, there are many bubbles, and we've had lots of happy little people being able to cycle on the streets of Inverness.
My name is Zadie.
Zadie, okay. And were you taking part today?
Yes.
So what did you do?
I was in the front talking to the guy. I've got an Isla bike that has a stand with it. It's blue and very big.
And did you enjoy it today?
Yes.
How often do you cycle?
Not that often because my bike is far too big to get in the car. And its wheel always needs to come off of it.
Are you at school?
Yeah, I'm in P4.
And do you ever cycle to school?
No, because we live half an hour away.
Transport is domestic transport is still one of the biggest emitters in Scotland, so rebalancing the priority on our roads a little bit so to enable all of these keen people who really want to be on their bikes to feel safe undertaking short journeys on their bikes is really, really important.
It has been lovely to share it with you.
Thank you. Bye. That was great, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah, no, I didn't realise that was going on.
yes, I loved the bubbles in particular.
Who doesn't like bubbles?
Yes, it's good to see all those kids cycling. You know, I was struck by what Emily was saying about Inverness needing to be safer for cycles, and I have to say this prompted a bit of a discussion in my family home, because I have a memory of my kids cycling everywhere in Inverness when they were young. I mean, did you cycle when you were young?
A bit, yeah. I didn't cycle to school though. It was close enough to walk.
Yeah. So me and my wife were arguing about how often our kids cycled, and it got so extreme that I had to phone them up. I mean, they're both in their 20s now. And yes, they said they did cycle places. And then I had to get the family photo albums out to see if there were any pictures of them cycling, and I think I found one and a bit of video as well. So it was perhaps more in my imagination than
maybe
in reality.
Memories.
You know, but I do think there's been amazing improvements in Inverness on the cycling tracks and things like that. So I was surprised that. I suppose everything's relative how you compare it with other cities.
True.
Anyway, I have here, and this is scientific, Mary, this is scientific. I have here the top 5 reasons why kids in the Highlands don't cycle as much as we did when we were young. Now, I don't want you to think I've made this up or I've asked ChatGPT to churn this out or anything. No, it's purely scientific. So the top 5 reasons why kids in the Highlands don't cycle as much as we did when we were young. Number 5. The rise of the mum taxi. Why pedal when a heated seat and Taylor Swift on the stereo is just a shout away? Number 4, the helmet hair factor. Back in the day, yes, back in my day, in the 70s anyway, a mop of wild hair was cool, but nowadays no one wants to arrive at school looking like they've just lost a fight with a hedge. Is that particularly a girl's thing, do you think?
Well, I don't know. I think boys these days, they're very precious about their hair.
Yeah, so let's not be sexist. Number 3, the weather. In our day, a light drizzle was basically the summer. But now the bike only comes out when the sunshine is at Mediterranean levels. Well, you know about that coming back from Greece.
True.
And number 2, parental paranoia. Back in the day, kids would be waved off with a simple instruction to be back in time for tea. Now they need GPS trackers, high-vis jackets just to go into the next street. Now that rings true, doesn't it?
I think so. Yes, I do think so.
Yes. When the sunset came and the lights came on in the street, you start to look for your kids. And remember, this is totally scientific. And finally, the number 1 reason why kids in the Highlands don't cycle as much as we did when we were young. Can we have a drum roll? The Loch Ness Monster has developed a taste for bicycles. Anyway, never mind that nonsense. There are people whose job it really is to encourage us to make use of walking routes and cycle tracks and buses and electric bikes and all sorts of things. And someone who knows about that has joined us, and that is Emily Bowie from Highlands.
Hello.
Emily, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And also with us is our Health Walks and Events Manager, Jayne Preece. Hello, Jayne. Emily, I don't suppose we know really scientifically whether or not kids are cycling more or less than they used to, but what we do know is that organisations like Highlands are doing a lot to try and encourage that kind of travel.
Yeah, for sure. So through the People in Place programme, which is the national programme of behaviour change activities, we're funding 9 different community organisations across the region. And some of them, so we've got organisations in the Cairngorms and Argyll and Bute who are organising bike buses so that kids, like with the Kidical Mass video that we just saw there, feel safer in that group. There's a bit of an initiative and socialising and a fun element as well around how they travel to school. So yeah, there's lots going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, to what extent are you making sure kids have got bicycles?
Yeah, so we've got the Argyll and the Islands Countryside Trust as one of our delivery partners. And this year they're running a programme of refurbishing old bikes, and then they can give them out to young people who don't have access to bikes or to other members of the community who, if they apply to them, they might have various barriers that are stopping them from having their own bike, and then they get access to it. And having access to a bike when transport poverty is a real thing, that's something that opens up a whole host of opportunities, whether that's employment, volunteering, socialising. So it's really important work that's going on in these rural areas.
So Jayne, you were involved in a project this year in the run-up to our annual Walking and Wheeling Festival, which was really about taking advantage of all the active travel paths that are being created in Inverness to encourage people, especially going to work, by walking or cycling on those routes.
Absolutely. It was called Safe Shortcuts and Not So Secret Paths, where we caught up with 8 different people who were walking or cycling to work. So we wanted to try and make an inspirational film to encourage other people to give it a go. So we met up with them on their journey, filmed some of the routes so we could showcase some of the lovely different routes and paths, and also have a chat with them to kind of find out why, what did they like about walking or cycling to work.
Which was a bit different from, because Emily's talking about getting rid of the obstacles. In those cases, they found advantages in walking or cycling.
Absolutely, yeah. There was a common thread. I think everybody said that they felt better, so it was good for their health and well-being, especially if you do a desk job and you sat down all day. Money saving, I think, was another one for a couple of them, especially families who've got children. They just got one family car, so they could save a little bit of money on parking fees as well.
I mean, it's great for the environment.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I think that was quite key as well. People felt good about sort of doing their bit towards sort of helping keep spaces greener. Yeah, it was a really, really good project, and we showed it at the beginning of our Walking and Wheeling Festival this year, the way to kind of launch the festival. Yeah, it was great.
So Mary, you were involved in the filming of that too?
Yes, I was. It was good fun. We went out and met people quite early in the morning on their journeys. So yeah, had some frosty mornings as well in February. But it was really interesting to meet people and hear their stories and their, just the benefits that they get from their cycling or their walking. And
sparing no blushes here, the festival this year won the Community Award for the Highland Third Sector Interface Awards. Yeah, so you better hold on to that carefully.
Thank you.
Okay, we've talked a lot about bikes, let's talk about buses. In fact, we can talk about bikes and buses, can't we?
Oh yes, we can. So we've got 26 new docks for bikes to go on the service between Aberdeen and Elgin, which is brilliant because it means that people don't have to commit either way to doing a round trip by bike. Say you're like, I'll go do my shopping, but you don't want to cycle back with all those bags. Now you'll be able to book that bike onto the bus, and it makes it much easier for people to travel around in Moray. We've also got the Move Flexi app, so that's a way for people in rural areas where there might not be great bus connections to book onto demand responsive transport. And we've now got coverage of nearly all of the Orkney Islands as well for people, so that hopefully not getting stranded if the buses aren't serving that area.
Great. I tell you what I was enamoured with looking at the Kidical Mass film was the bubble machine, and I thought, well, if you can't beat them, join them.
Absolutely.
So we've got our own miniature bubble
goes.
machine. Here we are. This will be a fitting finale as we say thank you very much for watching this final edition of Voices from Behind the Bike Shed. It's the end of our little video cast, but it's not the end of the Highlands and Islands Festival, because if you look on the programme and look on the website, there's plenty more events taking place over the next week or so. But for the moment, my thanks to our guests, Emily from Highlands, Jayne, our organiser of the Walking and Wheeling Festival, and my co-presenter here, Mary Law, as well. So that's it from us. Bye for now.